Good morning, my name's Anne and I'm a part of Greenlight MSc, and this morning we're going to be looking at the second day of Jesus and Sabbath and the relationship he had with it. So it's following on from the occasion when Jesus' disciples were walking through the fields eating the grains of corn, and Jesus was criticised for allowing that to happen. Jesus spoke to the criticisers and said, "The Sabbath was made for humankind, not humankind being made for the Sabbath." We're not to be rule-based about the Sabbath, but we're to recognise this time as a gift. In today's reading, Jesus leads us deeper into an understanding of this gift. So I'm going to read to you from the Message version, and it is Luke chapter 6. On another Sabbath, he went to the meeting place and taught. There was a man there with a crippled right hand. The religion scholars and Pharisees had their eye on Jesus to see if he would heal the man, hoping to catch him in a Sabbath infraction. He knew what they were up to and spoke to the man with the crippled hand. "Get up here and stand before us," he said. He did. Then Jesus addressed them. "Let me ask you something. What kind of action suits the Sabbath best? Doing good or doing evil? Helping people or leaving them helpless?" He looked around, looking each one in the eye. He said to the man, "Hold out your hand." He held it out. It was as good as new. They were beside themselves with anger and started plotting how they might get even with him. I don't know what your understanding and experience of Sabbath is, but for most of my life, to be honest, I've regarded Sabbath as being Sundays, a time for going to church, having a quieter day, and to be perfectly honest, a day of getting myself ready for the next week of school, making sure all my lessons are planned and I've got everything that I need. However, over the past couple of years, this view has been challenged with a call back to the heart of what Sabbath is. And Jesus speaks this challenge to me and to us again this morning. Sabbath is a time of rest and celebration, which is modelled by God in creation. There are 6 periods of time where God creates the awesome and wonderful universe that we see around us. And then there is Sabbath, a time where God rested and celebrated all that he had made. So he walks with his newly created people. He delights in the creatures that he's made and their interrelationships. And he provides for and nurtures this wonderful new creation that he has made. I don't know if God has finished his Sabbath. He still sustains and provides for all that he has made, and he still loves all that he has made. He's in fact dying to have a relationship with us. God blesses Sabbath. For people, it is enshrined in the 10 Commandments to have one day a week where you rest and celebrate. For the land, his people are told to rest it 1 year out of every 7 years, because God knows the benefits of Sabbath for his creation. He calls for all people to have a day where they rest and celebrate all that he has done and remember all that he has done for them. A day where they recognise the fruits of their work that has been done in partnership with God, and a day to refuel by receiving his provision and his sustaining power. In the rush of our world, where many of us would call ourselves doers and not beers, Jesus is calling us to refocus on Sabbath rest, to rest and refuel in him, not as a duty, not as a rule, but as a receipt of gift and of blessing. In today's reading, the religious scholars and Pharisees are being rule-based and they're looking to trick Jesus. But he calls them back to the heart of what the day is about, doing good and helping other people, of showing love. So he heals the man's hand as a sign that this is a day of love. In fact, many of Jesus' healings took place on a Sabbath, just to show that it is a day of intimacy and a day of power. Sabbath is a day of rest from the humdrum of life and a recovery from the pressures of work, a day to love God and a day to love others, to read his word and receive his truth afresh into our lives, just as Jesus was doing as he was opening up the scriptures to have fellowship with others and allow God's healing power and love to flow, just as Jesus did when he was healing the man's hand. A day to walk in creation and celebrate God's love and provision, just as he did at the beginning of time. And a day to recognise that God is enough, that the world is run through him and for him, not through us and for us. There is so much to learn about Sabbath, and if you are interested, I would really recommend you reading or listening to John Mark Comer. But for now, in the quiet, let's recommit to spend a day in rest and celebration with God and receive his gift of Sabbath rest, however that might look for us. Father, we thank you for your love. We thank you for your sustaining power. And we thank you for this gift of Sabbath. Amen.